Good morning, council.
Morning, Scott. No Lucas this morning?
Oh, Lucas, got me again. Sorry, guys. Sorry,
He's
and
usually
sorry,
the one to
Gina.
see it
Sorry,
here.
guys and girls. What's that?
Morning.
I'll get Lucas this afternoon.
There we go. Haven't seen him in a while.
He had been in trial for a little bit.
Ah, fun.
Times.
You guys catch the lunar eclipse yesterday?
I did. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not kind of like normally into it or care, but somebody kept mentioning it, so I thought, well, I'll take a look. It's kind of neat.
They're fun.
Did y'all see it?
I did.
I missed it. I did not see it.
And it was almost, if not a full moon, very near to it, and it got very dark.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw whenever it was probably about, you could still see maybe about 1/16 of the moon, and then I watched it through till it covered it all up.
Nice.
Did y'all get that email I sent, by the way, specific to this RTP hearing?
Yes.
What are y'all's thoughts on that?
What's on the chart?
And I will say, I went back to look at the timing. I think, council, that our plan was to non-suit Moreno, but because y'all had already filed the RTP, it left us in a spot where we were not, where it wouldn't have been wise for us, I think, to do that at that point. If I recall, when I look at the timing of it, I think that's what happened. So I will say that just so y'all understand why he's still there, because y'all had already filed the RTP.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Fernandez on there one way or the other. Moreno
Yeah. Out.
out, yeah. And then we'll just get, well, not whether the state of Texas City should be on there, but at least the responsible third party issue today.
Right.
Yeah, the RTP issue today.
That's
Yeah, I'm
fine.
in agreement with that, Scott.
Okay.
We can
Gina
let Mr.
and
Moreno out.
Gina. Yeah, like I say, I started looking at it, and that's what I recall from our perspective was at that point we just weren't able to, because we still think we haven't seen anything that says they're not parties. But it certainly wouldn't have made sense to drop them while y'all have a pending RTP. Gina, Trey, or is that palatable?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I'll go and respond to your email too, Scott, just so you have it.
Thank you. Did anyone ever get a transcript from that hearing?
I think I might. Let me see. Agree to dismiss and not proceed. There you go.
Got it, Trey. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey Trey, I've always wanted to ask you, what do those letters over your right shoulder spell out?
Oh, see if I can move it.
Okay,
Art
I
and
saw
music.
at one depot or something, I saw ART, and I was wondering if there was a letter in front of the A.
You know, my stepsister-in-law is an artist, and she painted this skyline. So my wife just got a couple of her other pieces. I'm turning it into a little, like a repository for her stuff, I guess.
Pretty neat. You can be the sophisticated member of the defense group.
Or my brother-in-law got me this. I'm not sure it doesn't resonate as much for you guys, but
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does for
You
me.
really, you had a really good night last night, then, Trey. That game
Well,
went a little different than I anticipated.
Until
Yeah,
about midnight when
Yeah, I tried to stay up for the stars. I just couldn't
oh, that was a
get there,
and
man.
I just the way they were being outshot, I'm a huge hockey fan. It was just
Yeah, it seemed
it's
to
like
be-
watching a sad movie that you know the ending, but you just
Earlier in the day, my son's home from college. He's a big Jordan Spieth fan, so it was a pretty big sports day for him.
Oh, yeah.
came in second.
Yep.
The goalie for the Stars had like 62 saves. It was unbelievable. He was standing on his head.
He's young
Holy
too.
cow.
I think this was his first playoff run. He didn't get a lot of help. So,
Oh, we need to remember at the end, get clarification on the upcoming hearings, if any are in person.
Yes. And those are all the 27th.
Seven, yeah. And those are all just motions to strike and summary judgment related, correct?
I think so.
Just, for a simple breakdown to Judge Magianis of what they are. I don't think there's anything other than either a motion to strike or summary judgment.
What are y'all's thoughts on the response to motions to strike time frame?
you want to say it like
I think it might be set for this Wednesday. If I might be reading it wrong, but
could we agree that 3 days before, or is that too narrow?
what would that be, Monday? I get, or,
The 23rd, just to give.
yeah, I think Monday seems reasonable. I think that's technically 4 days before or something, but that seems reasonable. Or or what are y'all's thoughts?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning,
Your Honor.
Judge.
Let me call the 357 District Court Judge, docket for this morning, set for this morning, Monday, May the 16th, 2022 at 8 o'clock in the morning, starting with Stiles, Hernandez, De Souza, and Newton and other people. Can you make your announcements for the record, please?
Scott Frederick for the plaintiffs, Your Honor.
Rafael Garcia Jr. for defendant Gulfview Condominium Phase 1 Council and Lauda Camacho.
Jason Lester for defendants Gulf Point Condominiums 1 Inc. and Gulf Point Master Association Inc.
Very well. And Gina Mills for defendant Azul Island Management.
Okay. All right, so this is a motion for leave to designate responsible third party.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
What's the issue? What's the problem?
Judge, we filed an objection. This is Scott Frederick, Judge for the plaintiffs. If you look at the, if I can share my screen, Judge, if you want, are you okay if I share my screen?
Let me hear your arguments first. If I want to see
Okay.
the document, I'll ask you to put it on, please.
And some
Okay.
issues we've agreed to.
Yes, Judge. So they filed a motion for leave as to two individuals, a Mr. Hernandez and a Mr. Moreno. The parties agree that there is some just dispute or disagreement as to whether these individuals are actually still parties or have actually been dismissed. But regardless, the parties agree that Mr. Hernandez will be on the charge, whether as a party or a RTP. The plaintiffs will non-suit Mr. Moreno, and he will not be on the charge, and the defendants will not make allegations regarding Mr. Moreno's liability. And the hearing today comes down to just the motion for leave as to the state of Texas, Texas Department of Transportation, and the city of South Padre Island. I believe
That's correct, Your Honor.
Correct.
And Judge, for motions for leave, the rules require the defendants, when seeking leave to file a motion for RTP, to follow the pleading standards, just as a plaintiff would have to whenever they're making allegations against any defendant. And here, the only allegations, there's two sentences that they make against, and they're not really even allegations. Here's all they say about TxDOT and City of South Padre, Judge. It says the incident occurred wholly on property owned and controlled by the state of Texas, TxDOT, and City of South Padre. And then further on in paragraphs 7 or 5, it says the defendants say, as plaintiffs allege premise liability, the state of Texas, TxDOT, and City of South Padre, the persons who own, control this public sidewalk, are responsible third parties. That's all they allege. There's no pleading standard. And the analogous situation, Judge, would be if a plaintiff filed a petition against a premise owner, such as Walmart, for example, and said, this occurred at Walmart, therefore you're liable, Walmart. That's literally all they allege right here. They just say, as it occurred on property owned by TxDOT, they're responsible third parties. And our assertion is that this doesn't meet the pleading standards, and that they need to allege what are the acts that they allege state of Texas, TxDOT, and City of South Padre did. How did those acts cause the incident or the injuries here? Proper pleading standards that plaintiffs have to follow as well, Judge, were not followed here. And we're asking that this either be denied, or I think if allowed to amend to for the defendants to actually follow the pleading standards and tell us what acts or omissions are you saying they did or did not do? How did those acts or omissions cause the incident or injuries? And those are just proper pleading standards, Judge.
Okay, let me hear from the defendant, whoever's objecting to this. If all of you, let me have only one of you.
I'll go ahead and take it if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, I need a response if there's a response.
So in this one for the state of Texas, Texas Department of Transportation, City of South Padre Island, Texas, this is an accident occurred on a public sidewalk, which the city and state own and control together. Stating the plaintiff's alleged premises liability, we know that there's generally the 5 elements or 7 elements for that. And one of them is you have to be a person who owns or controls the property where the incident occurred. I believe in stating that the state of Texas, Texas Department of Transportation, and the city of South Padre Island, Texas, own and control the public sidewalk where the incident occurred is enough to put plaintiffs on fair notice of why those individuals.
Well, but that's begging the question, isn't it, counsel? I mean, if you're just saying that's enough, so then where's the liability part? So are you saying that it's automatically assumed that they're negligent, or they had some negligent activity that caused the injury because of the fact that they controlled and owned the premises, and the plaintiff is obviated or not required to show any specific act of negligence? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, hearing it that way, Your Honor, it does seem different. Well, on that point, we just request.
It makes it, this is a negligence case, right? The plaintiff is alleging somebody was negligent in causing his client's injuries, whether it was a condominium, whether it was whoever he's alleged. He's proved to that proof that he's going to require to do that. Now you're telling me that there's evidence that the state of Texas actively engaged in some conduct that caused and helped cause this injury, other than owned and controlled the premises.
Based on the plaintiff's pleadings, yes, they would also essentially be in line with the same allegations against the condo owners.
Is that so, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Scott?
No, Your Honor, the plaintiffs have not alleged anything regarding state of Texas or city of South Padre. We've made no allegations against them.
Tell me briefly, what is this case about? What happened to your client?
Judge, the basic kind of 10,000-foot view is that our clients rented a golf cart from one of the defendant entities, Paradise DBA Azul, or Azul DBA Paradise, and was informed to drive down the sidewalk, was driving down the sidewalk, and Mr. Hernandez was exiting one of the driveways that are owned and controlled by the Gulf Point, Gulf View entities. There's no traffic control device at that intersection that either the Gulf Point or Gulf View entities put there. He felt he did not stop and came in and then hit our clients while they were traveling on the sidewalk. So
let me ask, if this is a 2019 case. It's got whiskers on it. In this court, it's got whiskers longer than mine. And this court is not very, doesn't cuddle up to whisker cases. It wants to go ahead and get rid of them and try them. So it seems to me that if any act of negligence that would point to the state or the city of South Padre Island or whoever else other entity you're seeking to leave, you would have asked for this leave, or you would have filed direct action against them as a contributory negligence claim. Why are you delaying this late to do this?
And Judge, to be clear, the plaintiffs are not, these are the defendants seeking to put them on the charge.
I understand that they're seeking for leave to file to bring in the state of Texas and the city of South Padre Island as third party responsible third parties. I understand that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Judge.
No, I've got it straight. I know exactly who's doing what. So why wait this late if the allegations are so simple? Unless, do you have active, did you just discover something that the state of Texas or the city of South Padre Island did that actually, other than own and control the premises where it is allegedly happened? Is there any other act of negligence you have been able to uncover during your discovery process? Counsel, Mr. Leslie.
Well, for the first question, the rules allow 60 days before trial to file the motion for leave, and so that's why we filed it when we did. As for the state of Texas and the city of South Padre Island's connection to the case, expanding on the fact the accident occurred wholly on the public sidewalk. It only, both Mr. Hernandez and plaintiffs were on public property the entire time that the accident occurred. And what plaintiffs are alleging is that the failure to erect or maintain traffic control devices, specifically a stop sign on that property, is what led to the accident. And so as it's public property and there was not a traffic control device, the state of Texas, city of South Padre Island would be responsible for determining whether there should have been a traffic control device in that location, or if if it did not need one either. And then also part of plaintiff's allegation against the condo owners is the public sidewalk is a dangerous condition, which is owned and controlled by the state of Texas. So as the condo owners don't have any control over the public sidewalk, and we couldn't decide anything to do with that area if we wanted to, it's logical that the state of Texas and city of South Padre Island would then have some responsibility for the design of the sidewalk, determining whether there should be traffic control devices there, regular governmental functions that would occur on public property dealing with traffic control.
Okay. Mr. Friedrich?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge, to briefly respond, the allegations are not as Mr. Lester indicated. We're saying that the Gulf Point, Gulf View entities, their portion, their roadway had no traffic control devices. That's the roadway from which Mr. Hernandez was driving. That's the roadway on which he was driving. We are asserting they had no proper traffic control devices, not that Padre Island Boulevard did not, that Mr. Hernandez, the road he was on, did not. And so I would again assert that the way he has phrased our allegations is not entirely accurate. And again, under this motion, they allege what acts or omissions are they saying state of Texas did or did not do? How did those acts, and we are left in the blind with that because the plaintiffs are not asserting state of Texas did anything wrong. The plaintiffs are not asserting city of South Padre did anything wrong. So they can't just kind of bootstrap the plaintiffs' pleadings here and say, well, it's the same. They need to tell us, what are you saying that South Padre did? What are you saying that state of Texas did?
What, can you just briefly tell me what rule covers third-party designations? Responsible third party.
Yeah.
Civil practice, chapter 33, I believe, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen? Anyone else? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go visit that section. I'm gonna read it, and then you'll have a decision. I'll sign the order, either granting or denying after I do so, and you'll receive a copy of it, okay?
And I know you're gonna hate me for doing this, Your Honor, because I do it every time that we're here and I start something else afterwards. So for what this would be deciding is if we need to replete or not. So the choice would then
No,
be.
I'm gonna get it to you today.
Perfect. We also had a question. We have on the 27th, we have quite a few hearings scheduled with you for summary judgments. The parties, we just wanted to be clear on whether all of those are going to be by submission or if you would like any of them to be in person.
No, I do all my summary judgments by submission.
Okay.
What about the motions to strike? Judge, I'm sorry. There are also motions to strike, I believe. Is that correct, Jason?
I believe so.
Well, whose motion is it?
Filed by plaintiffs and filed by defendants, Your Honor.
I think everybody did at least one.
I don't, my civil coordinator is out today. She left me a file and that would require for me to dig. Did she leave me my files, the civil files?
Yes, I believe that one's on your chair, Judge. It's a really big one, the first one on the left-hand side.
Okay, well, gentlemen, I will sheepishly tell you, I'm not prepared for that. Because, normally I ask my coordinator to leave me my motions that are pending out. But obviously, she was unable to do so. So what I need to do is take some time to go look for the file, get those motions out and address them this morning if you have time. Okay? Can you get
Thank
me,
you, Your Honor.
can you excuse me for a second? Get me the, I need to send it.
Were they set for today?
No,
No,
no, no,
they're,
no.
no, they're set for the 27th. We were just curious if the judge would like those motions to be handled in person or by submission. That's all.
Let me see what.
Okay, I think he misunderstood. Hold on.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that's it for that? Okay, but when are they? Got it. Got it. The motions for strike will be done in Zoom. The summary judgments will be done by submission.
Okay.
Does that
Thank you,
answer
Ron.
all your questions?
I
Yes,
believe,
sir. Yes,
believe
sir.
so.
Thank God for my court reporter that straightens me out. Got it.
Apologies, Your Honor.
Is that it, gentlemen?
Believe so.
I believe that's everything, Your Honor.
Well, y'all have a good day. Thank you for being here.
Thank
You
you,
as
Your Honor.
well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you all.